bad smokers lining up the block like a gold rush. The saying live fast and die young is what they told us. The way that they
What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC. As you can see, I'm at work and working, multitasking as always. Pardon me, but I just got a call. Soon as I wanted to get off the camera, here goes my phone ringing. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat because I don't know which StreamYard disconnected my voice. I don't want that. That would just be more irritating than what already happened. Yeah, correct. All right. If you can hear me clearly or better, hit one so we can get this shit rolling. Alan said he could still hear me. Well, that's good. Jonathan can hear me. What's up, Jonathan? Jay Moore in the building. Okay, good, better, best. AB can hear me. All right, good. Hopefully, once again, it's on. All right, so the reason for this stream is last night I got to see James Bond, No Time to Die. And I went home, I took my time, got a good shower and everything else, sat down, all fresh and so clean, and started recording a review. And I recorded a good review. It's about 40 minutes long. Bad part about it is when I went to stop the stream, because it was just a pre-record, I noticed that I was muted the whole time. I did a 40-minute review of a movie, completely muted the whole time and didn't even notice it. So you're not going to get 40 minutes from me here, but I'll review it again, which I hate doing. I hate having to go back multiple times to do something. It's absolutely irritating. You don't get that fresh feel the first time from that you get the first time if you have to go back and do it over and over again. It don't. You do the best reviews on YouTube, bro. I appreciate that, Alan. I really do, because when I actually sit down to do a review, it's actually pretty well thought out, and it takes a lot of time, especially ones with all the graphics and stuff like that. It does take a lot of time. It is an undertaking, and I would hope people watching and appreciate it, the work that's being put in to give you just my 2 cents on the movie and give you reasons to like it or steer away from it, but just to get a feel for what somebody else thought of it. Don't feel bad. I've done the same thing. I don't feel bad about it, AB. It just pisses me off. Basically, that's what it is. It pisses me off. And I'm forgetting the phrase for it, but to me, it's like jazz. You can only have that good flow that one time. It's organic that first time. After that, it's not organic. It's formulaic. Okay, and I like it being organic, right? Because maybe at that time something was catching my mind that makes the connection, that makes the associations. That if I tried to do it all over again, I'm not repeating the same words. I'm not. I'm not using the same words. I'm not using the same phrase. I've already altered it again. And that's how I am. I will always improve on whatever it is I'm doing every time I do it. So the first time will never happen again, because the second time I've already changed it up. Third time I've changed it up from the first two times. It's constantly that effort to keep perfecting things that I have. And that's why I usually try to get it out once, which is gonna be pretty close to perfect then. And then after that, it'll be different every other time. So it is what it is. So for you guys, and I have some time today, I'm just going to go ahead and review it again. So if I missed some stuff that I said the last time, Ain't shit I can do about it. I can watch my mouth move. I can put a video up and let you guys practice your lip reading skills for 40 minutes, but that's not going to be that much fun. I'm telling you, right? Like, oh, that looked really funny what he said. Yeah, wish we could hear it. So anyway, I thought this would be better. I'll do a brief review, and then you guys can ask me questions about it. Don't ask me questions to spoil the movie because I will not do that. You know me. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but I will try to whet your appetite to go see it. Okay. So hereineth go the review. Um, Going into this movie, for one, it was a little odd for me to watch a James Bond movie in October. It's odd because anybody who's a James Bond fan knows that James Bond movies always come out in November. Almost always come out in November. That's the month for James Bond movie. That's another reason why I like them. And I am a James Bond fan. I've been watching James Bond since I was a young kid. I swear to you, like a really young kid. And one of the things I latched onto last night was as early back as I can remember watching a James Bond movie, and I think it might have been Live and Let Die. Might have been. It might have been. Go way back, right? So I've seen about all of them. I think there was only one or two that I did not watch. I probably didn't watch Thunderball, even though that's like one of the ones you're just absolutely supposed to see with Sean Connery. But I don't think I've seen all of From Russia with Love. But I don't know. I go back with James Bond. I liked almost all of the James Bonds. Fuck you, Timothy Dalton. Never really liked Timothy Dalton. I like him as an actor. Do not like him as James Bond. I did not like the sexless Bond. That was bullshit. No, that was bullshit. That's not what I wanted to see. But for me, James Bond as a kid was that pinnacle of where you wanted to be. The international spy, international ladies' man, license to kill. You can carry your piece anywhere. You can go into exotic locales all over the world and taking down criminals and different organizations and stuff like that. Just doing it big in the world. I always love that spy thriller, espionage, intrigue type of deal. James Bond sits at the pinnacle of that for me. I've seen all the movies. I've even read a couple of Ian Fleming's books, which are awesome. Really, really enjoy it and get into it. Now, seeing this movie, it being the last movie for Daniel Craig, I was going to see it regardless. Regardless of all the hype and other stuff that people were saying in the background of what it was going to be. This was going to be woke Bond. It was going to be chick Bond. Look, either way, I was going to go see the movie. That's just how it works. I'm a James Bond fan. I will see these movies in the theater and see what the experience is going to be because that's what watching a James Bond movie is for me. This was only weird because I didn't have any popcorn. I had my vaccination card with me, and I didn't know they was asking for that shit to get popcorn, so I didn't get any popcorn. So I was sitting there on raspy, and no popcorn. So kind of sucks. So anyway, the second part of it is that I go back with Daniel Craig a while, and back when Guy Ritchie and Matthew Vaughn kind of split and were doing movies separately, I saw a movie back in the day called The Layer Cake. All right. Now, I love my British shows and movies. James Bond is a British show. I love it. I love the succession of different actors playing the same character. I love that part. Right. Same thing with my British movies. My British gangster movies are always fun to me. And The Layer Cake is a British gangster movie, but it was a British gangster movie by a director I knew with a cast of characters, some of I've never seen before, one of which was Daniel Craig. Now, Daniel Craig was in the movie with Colo Meany, and if you know who Colo Meany was Transporter Chief O'Brien in Star Trek The Next Generation. And in that movie together, there's a scene between Daniel Craig and Colo Meany And Cole Meany is playing the right hand of a gangster, basically, and he's given Daniel Craig's character a gun. And Daniel Craig's character says, I don't even like guns. I don't want a gun. I don't even like guns. He said, but except maybe this one. And there's a joke made that he thinks he is James Bond. The guy thinks he's actually James Bond. And there's a scene where Daniel Craig has turned the corner and got the guns up. And I'm like, yeah, he'd make a good Bond. I think he'd make a good James Bond. Now, fast forward 2 years after that movie, and it's announced that Daniel Craig is in fact going to be the new James Bond. Cool. I had no problem with that. Now, Daniel Craig as James Bond, I really enjoyed. I did enjoy Daniel Craig as James Bond because he brought something a little bit more to the character. And after Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig was a little bit more active. He was more active. And he was almost to me the perfect guy to use to bring the next generation of James Bond in with the type of action that we do now in the 2000 era. It seemed perfect for me. He was perfect for it. You know, the cold, still eyes, that kind of kills it for me. Every damn time. It's like, that motherfucker looks psychotic. Like, he almost looks psychotic. So Daniel Craig, James Bond to me was kind of a match made in heaven. It absolutely worked. Now, over his time as James Bond playing this role, Daniel Craig has taken a lot of bumps and bruises, broken some bones and some stuff like that. So this being his last movie, his send-off movie, completely understandable to me. It's a tough role. And if you watch any of his stunts that he does in his movies, skip over to Pierce Brosnan because that's when they started doing these really impactful stunts. And go before that, they wasn't doing no big stunts with the lead actor like that. They weren't. It's the Matrix effect, okay? Matrix was the paradigm shift. You got to have your ass out there now. No more stunt double. You got to get out there. So props to Daniel Craig for doing a lot of that stuff, but it can cost you. It can cost you. There is a toll. Ask Jackie Chan, okay? So Daniel Craig being James Bond, I enjoyed. I saw all of those movies, and true enough, some of them were better than others. That's just movies in general. Okay, that's just how movies go. Some movies are better than others, especially in a series. It's really hard to hit that groove in even three movies of having all three movies be awesome. It doesn't really work, you know. Even for Endgame or Infinity War, it's only two movies, but one of them is better than the other one. Okay, it's just what it is. So in this movie, you get down to seeing that you're getting a flashback. You're getting a flashback of James Bond and Madeline Swan, played by Daniel Craig and Lee Sedux. I think that's how you say her name. Too nice. And they are together, right? And they have walked away from their respective organizations and they're trying to live their life out in the world and put their past to bed. And you get the understanding that these two people are actually in love. Okay, this is who they are. They're in love. They walked away from all this international spy shit and they just want to live their life. Now, this is one of the things that I can say I appreciate with Daniel Craig's character in this story. Some people would balk at the fact that James Bond is having a love story in the middle of his movie. I don't balk at that. I think for the character of James Bond, the amount of stuff that he's been through, it's only right to have some angst about love, and it's only right to finally try to grab a little piece of life for yourself. It only seems right to me. Okay. Now, how that worked out for him, not so well. You get them getting to, I think it's called Matara, somewhere in Italy, I believe, because it sounds like they're speaking Italian. And them being there at a time where the people in the city are having a festival and they burn their secrets to let the past die. And they try to take up in this festival. Now, this is another thing that I really love about the James Bond movies. What are the hallmarks of James Bond movies? Outside of him being there, it's always exotic locations that you probably have never seen before that you want to go. I love the location scouting on this one. I did. This first scene, this opening scene with them in this area and how the architecture of these buildings are all built up into the side of the mountains and stuff like that. That looks awesome. I don't know where the hell that is. I need to find it on a map so I can figure out how I can go visit that spot because that looks freaking awesome. I like that. This is one of the things I love about James Bond, getting to see all these places around the world that I may not never have gone to or may never go to, but I get to see them in some visual way, right? So you get James Bond's character going to the grave of Vesper. And if you know who Vesper is, Vesper Lynn was one of James Bond's early loves earlier in the series, and she was killed. Okay. He's still carrying it around with him. And on this day, he goes to her grave that's in this city and tries to, burn that name and let that part of himself go so he can move forward with his relationship with Madeline Swan. Problem is, he looks down, he sees a card there, and he picks up the card, and the card has the Spectre logo on it, and the damn mausoleum that her body is in blows up in his face. Now, this is one of the things that is kind of messed up if you think about anybody who lives a life like this. There is never really any peace. There will never really be any peace for you, especially if you're using your real name. Motherfuckers will find you. they will not let you have a break. It's like being a real hardcore rapper that was in them streets, and then you get a deal, and you get on, and now you got to travel to all these other cities. Motherfuckers ain't gonna let you forget. They don't care what new leaf you turned over. They still on the same leaf, and they coming to get their payback. Okay, so that's what happened, and it gets you into the beginning parts of the first action scene before the classic James Bond title credits scene. Okay. Now I'm not gonna spoil the whole movie because I don't do that. I will just jump to two parts and leave it at that. Right. So you get the intro and get all the action and him having to react to this stuff and seeing that James Bond is a little bit rusty. He's a little bit rusty. So he's getting beat up a little bit more than usual in this, but he's still doing the same over the top ass stunts. Still doing it. Yeah, he could have been killed a couple times, but it's what he does. Okay, it's old hat for him. Now you get to a part in this fight that James Bond believes that Madeline is the reason that Spectre found him, that she tipped off Spectre to where they were, and that she, in fact, is still working for Spectre. And he doesn't trust her. He puts her ass on the train, kisses her goodbye, and tells her this is the last time you'll ever see me, and sends her on her damn way. That was a G move, right? Because he doesn't feel he can trust her. She's crying, disappointed, but they understand what it is, and he out of here, right? Fast forward to 5 years later, and James Bond has now retired from MI6, or excuse me, MI5, not MI6, and is living on the island of Jamaica by himself alone. And I'm sorry, I have to say this here. If that's what living by yourself on Jamaica looks like after service to the Queen and Crown, I'll take that life. I'll find a chick. Sorry, I'll find another chick, dude. That was a nice spot. That was a nice layout. That's like a dream layout for me. Like, dude, you got decks and stuff all over the place, right on the beach. Nice house, good liquor. What you upset about? Stop moping. God damn, you want everything, right? The world is not enough, right? So you get the introduction of seeing how Bond is leaving, but then he finds a cigar in his house. He sees some ash and he finds a cigar burnt in his house. And if you know anything about Bond, he don't smoke cigars. So he goes into town and he sees somebody following him, and he gets the double back on him of who was following him. And sure enough, it's his old buddy from the CIA, Felix Leiter, played by Jeffrey Wright. Now, just finishing the What If series with Jeffrey Wright voicing the Watcher. It's cool to see him on film, just playing another character, but actually see his face on film playing Felix Leiter character. I've always liked the Felix Leiter character, and for me, this is only one of two times that a black man has actually been Felix Leiter. The other one that I can recall being Bernie Casey, right? Okay, I like Felix Leiter. Felix show up, and America always, gonna kind of help them, but they kind of involved. It's always some bullshit with the CIA involved, dude. It's always some bullshit. They'll help, but it's always some bullshit. You already know what it's gonna be. Like if they involved, like what y'all mess up this time? What the fuck, right? So you get Bond, Leiter, and this new cat Logan Ash going out to the club. They got some good reggae music, boy. They getting it in. I want to know where that spot is in Jamaica. I really do. I need to know where that spot is because they look like they was gigging. I'm sure it was probably just a set they made up somewhere in Pinewood Studios in England. But look, I don't know. They need to actually open that up somewhere because that looked like the spot. Right? So they in there having some drinks, and you get the real camaraderie between Leiter and Bond and the new guy Ash being there just drinking like old war buddies and stuff like that. And it's a really good scene because you get how close the two of them are. And Leiter is trying to get Bond to come in on this job that he has, that he wants him to recapture this Russian scientist that he captured before that has recently been kidnapped from a bioweapons lab, a secret bioweapons lab, by an unknown party who made off with some bioweapon and the scientist. And Felix would like Bond to jump in and help. And Bond turns him down. Now, when Bond goes outside, this is where you get the introduction of Lashana Lynch's character, Nomi. Now, you don't know her name at the time, but the black chick, rolls up on him, wants to give him a ride, and all of a sudden his car don't work. You know what he wants. He wants some hot coffee. So from here, you get the introduction of Nomi. And getting back to Bond's place, Nomi, shows that she's kind of a forward-thinking woman. And so she sees his layout and like, is that the bedroom? And walks towards the bedroom. And Bond is like, well, yes, it is. They get into the bedroom. She pulls off a wig, not in the I'ma get you sucker way, even though that's what you could think is about to happen. Like, oh shit, what else is coming off? And guys, help me. Is Michael coming for me? I don't know what you're talking about. But don't come in here with no bullshit. Yeah, no one. Hot coffee. Grand Theft Auto. Some Vincent Garzon. Who are you and what are you talking about? Guys, help me. Michael's coming for me. I need 4 pit bull dogs. Time to take care of that. All right. So she takes a wig off, sits down on the bed, and introduces you to let you know that her name is Nomi and she is 007. That's right. The black woman, is the new 007. Now, here's the funny part. I didn't necessarily have a problem with this part. Didn't. Because at this time, James Bond, in fact, has retired. I think it is MI6. Did I say MI5? I need to trust my instincts. He has retired from the organization. And being that he has retired from the organization without getting killed in the line of duty, on Her Majesty's, Secret Service. Um, Someone else has picked up the designation of 007, and it's her. Now, on the face of this, I don't have a problem with it. Don't have a problem with it. That's how it would work. If I'm number 15 at my job, and yeah, I've done some good work, but all of a sudden, um, if you have a wrench in my chat, block this fool with the flag, tequila. I don't know who you are, and you come in here spamming my live stream. I don't have time for that shit. So I will catch you next time. I'll take care of it myself. Sniper's got to be quicker. So I don't have a problem with it, right? If I leave the organization and my number was 15 and somebody else want to come in and they get the number 15, it's just what the hell it's going to be. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. The part of it that I didn't like here is she is real aggressive and disrespectful in a sense to him. And that's how it kind of plays for her and him for the beginning part of the movie. She's always showing up after the fucking fact and being kind of low key disrespectful, trying to one up him a little bit. And that part of it bothered me. Now, the other half of the movie, she on team. She on team Bond and it's good, right? He don't hit, but look, it's just what it is nowadays. I like the James Bond that hit everything he came across, but look, I'm living in the modern world right now. You can't hit everything you come across nowadays. You just can't. It's not smart, motherfucker. It's just not smart. If you still, I don't know if you really want to think about, you know, this movie in the time frame in the real world that they filmed it, there ain't gonna be a lot of contact happening between people. COVID, not really gonna be happening. Not really gonna be happening. But I digress from that. Right. So once you get Bond meeting 007, which is an interesting thing to try to wrap your head around at the time, is that you're relating to James Bond as who he is and relating to 007 as a completely different person. Right? It's a kind of little bit of mental gymnastics you have to go through. But for the most part, I just kept calling her Nomi and left it at that because 007 goes to James Bond to me. Now, she gives him a warning. She knows Leiter is trying to get him on this job, and she tells him to stay out of her way. That she's on the case, she's the new 007, stay out of it, and wants him to stay out of it. He doesn't even take the job, right? And of course, he doesn't stay out of it because it's James Bond. If Spectre's involved or anything like that, he needs to find out what the hell is going on, and he wants to know why this scientist has been captured. Now, as you can believe, with a virus or something like that being created secretly in Europe, that somebody is behind this virus being created, and what it turns out to be, and this is not a spoiler, but M was the one fronting and working with this virus. Okay. Now here's the part that I think why this movie would get some backlash and people wouldn't be on board with it. It's kind of a sickening feeling to watch a movie, to sit in a movie theater where you're doing the social distance seating and still wearing your mask if you're not eating popcorn and shit during, a pandemic, and to watch a movie that's showcasing the terrorist plot is some designer fucking virus that can kill the world. Two on the nose. And I think it's a little bit uncomfortable making. It is. I mean, I could think about sitting in the movie theater and hearing the dude coughing. That was bothering me, even though he got his mask on. It's bothered me. But then you get to this part of the movie about this virus, and it's like, that's not even funny. It's not fiction. That's real. We live in it. So that's the part that I can see people having an issue with because they didn't want to have to like that shit. No, that was not entertaining. That was too close to the bone. Put it that way. It's too close to the bone. It's too soon. It's too soon for us to be doing virus movies again. It's just way too soon. Too many people have died. It's too fresh in people's mind. It ain't completely gone away. No, it's too soon. Okay, so I think that kind of could hurt the movie a little bit. Now, not to spoil too many other parts, but you skip ahead. Bond is doing his Bond thing, where he's out there on the case, finding out what happened and what's going on, and he ends up in Cuba. Which, if you watch any Bond movies, you know Cuba always comes up. There's always some shit going on in the Bahamas or Cubas. It's always some tropical warm places, which is kind of good, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna go somewhere, it might as well be somewhere nice. And you get the introduction of the character of Paloma, played by Ana de Armatas, right? Now, this is one of the grown moments for me in this movie. Now, where Ana de Armatas, if you don't know who she is, she was the nurse, the lead character in Knives Out, and she has most recently been Affleck's ex-girlfriend. She's a cute little, Latina. She's a cute Latina. I think she's actually Italian. It might be actually Italian. She's cute. But in this scene, although as beautiful she looks in the little dress and the little A cups and all the rest of that, okay, she looks cute. I don't buy the fight scene with her. There's a couple of times in this fight scene with her where she is just kicking the shit out of a couple of grown men, and I'm knowing this chick is not even a buck. She is not even a buck weight wise. I don't care how high the heels are and how high the split goes up on that dress. There is no way this little ass chick kicking anybody's ass. Now, thankfully, a lot of her takedowns and kills have to do with using a pistol. But in some other scenes where she's actually fighting, no, no, you're not using your body weight to knock no dude down. You're gonna bounce off his chest, if anything. Now, shooting him with a gun, I could see that. Her being faster and quicker with a weapon, preferably a pistol, cool. One hand in the automatic submachine gun, she ain't got the arms for that. I'm sorry, she ain't got the arm strength. She ain't got the shoulder strength. Uh-uh. No, not buying it. Now, did she look beautiful? Yes, she looked beautiful. Could she have not been there? Yes, she could have not been there too. But it's a good role for her. Her star is on the rise. Fine, she's there. Have at it. But I didn't buy her kicking no dude's ass. Now, also in this scene, you get Lashana Lynch showing up as 007, and this is one of the first times that I'm getting a groan seeing her because she's showing up after the fact. All the work has already pretty much been done by James Bond and Paloma. Now here's 007 coming in through the window, through the ceiling, like she needed to do that shit with this big grand entrance and snatching the scientists and getting out of there and just running away. And I'm like, how un-007 of you? You're supposed to be helping out, not just snatching the bag and running. It's like, and that's kind of how her character was in the movie. She always showed up after the fact. The action is done, and here she is showing up. I'm like, look, you letting down your designation with that shit. You supposed to be in the mix, not showing up after the party's over. No, 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 no. You supposed to be there in the mix if you're gonna be carrying that designation. If that's the case, she could have had a 005 or something, because them motherfuckers always get killed, and you never see them at all on camera. So for me, that rubbed me a little bit of the wrong way for the first 2/3 of the damn movie until we get to the end, and now she actually involved handling her wax a little bit. It's like, okay, cool. Now to move on and not spoil too much, at a point in there, you get the introduction of what's his name, Remy. Rami Lavu or whatever his name is, playing Saffron, playing the Bond villain, right? And yes, his face is all screwed up, and he has some kind of connection to Bond, Madeline, Blofeld. He has a connection to all these people. And not to spoil the story, but it's an interesting connection. I can see how some people and some critics I heard really shitting on his character that it was dumb. But if you go to the old trope of just a terrorist or a somebody who just wants to see the world burn, that would be Safin. Safin. That's who he is. He just wants to see everything burn. He doesn't give a shit. And part of his plan is that. So I'm not putting it past him. If I look like he did, I want the world to burn too, because they couldn't do anything else for me. So fuck him. So you get the introduction of him, and for me, he gets high marks in having his Bond villain base. He does. I liked his base. His base was awesome. That whole Asian theme, Asian Russian fusion thing with the raised Zen rock gardens, pretty fucking cool to me. Sorry, it looked kind of awesome to me. Him as a character, he was kind of fucked up. Dude really didn't care. He did not care, and he put everybody's back against the wall with that shit. He did. So they had a problem dealing with him because for most of the movie he's in the shadows, and when he does show up out the shadows, he is not playing with anybody. There are no games to be had with him. There is no play. Okay. Now, that's pretty much the end of the movie. So what you get at the end of this, which is not a spoiler because everybody knows this is the end of Daniel Craig's time as James Bond, right? When you get towards the end, there is an emotional thread in this movie. There is. It happens once with Felix, and it happens again with Bond. That you see it actually as a changing of the guard in a way. And this character having to go through everything that he's gone through over this time and then this movie, you get the understanding of why he's leaving this role. And it's a good send off. And I can't remember in any Bond movie really where the actor leaving the role got as good of a send off to really just show them bossing up. Closest I can think of was like what Never Say Never Again, when I think that was the last one for Sean Connery. And wasn't really that. It was just kind of like a wink and a nod thing, but it was good. So at the end of this one, I actually did feel something. I felt something for Daniel Craig. I felt something for Bond. And I did feel like it was closing a chapter in the story of this character. I learned a lot about some of the other characters that I didn't know. I got to see, the whole cast of characters that are all hallmarks of the James Bond franchise. You can't have Bond and 007 without having M, without having a Q, without having a money penny, without having cool fucking gadgets and vehicles and stuff like that can do more than just drive. That was the part I was really loving. That glider submarine combo. Oh, that's some shit. We need to talk to Graham Hawks and get this shit built. I'm serious. We need to get this shit built. I need one. That needs to be recreation. Okay. I know the military probably got a few of them for real, but look, let's get this out to the commercial usage, just for the civilian. Put it in the civilian market. We need those. Somebody get on that shit. I'm serious. But it was a good send off. I like seeing all those characters again. I like being able to say, in a sense, as a fan, say my goodbyes to them. And sure enough, I sat through all the credits, and was surprised at what they told me at the very end of all those credits. So if you're one of those people that don't understand that your ass is supposed to sit in the seat until all the credits are over and they actually turn on the house lights, then you will miss something. You will miss something. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not a spoiler, but I will say you should stay to the very end. Should have stayed to the very end. So for me, I enjoyed this James Bond movie. Was it the best James Bond movie? No, I don't think so. Because Skyfall was still pretty awesome to me. Skyfall had, whoo, that was some shit. But everything can't be what hit the peak. Every every good movie is not the peak of good movies. It's just not. But for me, I enjoyed the movie. The feminism wasn't as bad as I was led to believe it was. It wasn't. And if Lashana Lynch stepped in to be the new 007, okay, if you want to do that, I don't think she will. And that's kind of the problem for me with them trying to get woke with the James Bond movies. You won't have a female actress, I think. You won't have a female actress going as hard as these male actors have gone the last couple of years for as long. You won't. You just won't. You'll have to cycle them out or invest a lot in stunt doubles because they're not going to do it. Not unless you get one of these good MMA scrapping, females who actually can take their bumps and bruises and stuff like that without, needing a medical or an attorney present. Other than that, I don't see it happening. You're gonna get some really lame ass fucking movies. It's gonna be all about her, trying to be Black Widow for 20 2 hours. It's just what it is. So for me, I enjoyed it. The feminism wasn't there as much. The women were there. They had their roles that they played, and yeah, they got a little bit of shine somewhere and kind of gave Bond shit at different areas, but it worked into the story. It wasn't them, get behind me, James. I'm handling this. It wasn't none of that shit. It wasn't none of that. James Bond was still the main character with a double O designation or not. He was still the main character. And that's what I had to understand is that the story is about James Bond. It's not just about James Bond being 007 because being James Bond is who he is. It wasn't a code name. That's who he is. And that will follow him regardless of the designation hooked up to the agency or not. That shit will follow him. And he has to live with that. So I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was enough action to keep me satisfied. There was enough story there to keep me interested to think like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they doing this? This dude is crazy. This dude is crazy. You're gonna have to kill him. You're gonna have to kill this one. Okay. He gonna need that lead sandwich sooner than later because he is ill. That child, that dog is not well. Okay. So that's my review of No Time to Die. That's my live review of No Time to Die. Not a reaction. Um, if you guys have any questions, you can throw them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them for you if they're not too spoilery. And let's get it. I can do this for about another 5-10 minutes, and then I got to get rolling. So let's see, because the chat is actually either frozen or not moving on my side. So got any questions, throw them in there and I will answer them to the best of my ability without spoiling the movie for you. But if you want to see it, go see it. If you don't want to see it, don't go see it. If finding out that a woman has the 00 designation in the movie hurts your feelings, freaks you out, don't go see the movie. It was going to be something else other than that pissed you off. But understanding how it works into the story, then fine. Yes, yes, the black woman is a 007. Who cares? She ain't James Bond. Nobody? Damn, they saw me ejecto-cedo two people and they got scared? Come on, that motherfucker was being stupid. Got time for people playing it in the chat. This is not Kitty Land. Thought she could be a good cast as Ro or Monica. Count Seku. Lashana Lynch. Yeah, I'd buy her as Storm. I would buy her as Storm because she's a pretty good actress, and I like her skin tone. They make her look really fucking dark in this movie. I don't know what the hell that's about, but I think she'd make a really good Storm. She would make a really good Storm to me. Even though I like Storm depicted with a little bit more endowment up top. I like the thunder clouds a little higher up top, but other than that, yeah, I'd buy her as Storm. Monica is Monica Rambeau. I think she did fine in the Captain Marvel movie. I thought she was fine as Monica Rambeau or Maria Rambeau in the Captain Marvel movie. She was fine. She held it down. I like seeing her on the screen better than I like seeing Brie Larson on the screen. Just what the hell it is. So I prefer that. And no one said they'd check you later on the replay. That's it. Nobody got any questions? Oh, well, I could have just recorded this and threw it up without that. Live was no difference. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. I hope you guys enjoyed this live review of No Time to Die. I am Artisan MC, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Yo, we said get 'em, so I got 'em all.